time, and the church will not have time to take care of one person to recover.
You're right. You're right. So that tells me that the work of a counselor actually, has got some, to a large extent, some psychology in there. Otherwise, not be able to study the human being and taught a person. Do you do psychology also as part of?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We do. You know, the psychological side of it is the feeling that you have. In some cases, when you're talking to somebody and then you realize that no, the person needs, medical treatment, you need to refer. But if you're not trained, you will not be able to
identify
detect.
exactly.
Exactly. There are actually people who have, deeper problems, which is above counseling. It is only a trained professional who will be able to know psychologically that this person actually needs medical treatment. So you need to be trained.
Wonderful.
The bottom line is that as a professional counselor, you need to be well trained to be able to look at the psychological side of people. Otherwise, you just be sitting with people and you don't know what to say to them.
Yes.
So psychologically, you are reading the person, you are sharing the feeling, and it helps you to identify most of the problem and help them better.
Would you recommend a scheduled session for organizations for a counselor to come and speak to them? Probably once a month, or no, once a month too close, once a year or something. How would that help?
Ideally, I would say that every quarter.
Every quarter, okay.
You see, one thing about counseling is that because it takes time. Like I said before, it doesn't take just 1 week or even 2 weeks for you to sort a problem.
Okay.
You might have, once you start talking to somebody, you realize that because you want to take it through the grassroots, the bottom of the problem, you want to go deep down. And sometimes you realize it even started way back in World War II. You understand?
Yeah.
The problem is deep. So you need to dive deep down. Because if you tackle the problem on the surface, you're going to have more problems. So with a workplace, at least a quarter helps.
Okay.
Because you don't want to be barging into the workplace all the time when work is ongoing and say you're coming to do counseling. Because you don't want to also, do it too long.
Okay.
So that people will forget. It's a therapy.
That's right.
So basically, you want to always, be talking to them more often. Because at the end of the day, if you talk to them today and you leave it for a very long time, you're going to have issues. If the person is drinking, we'll go back to it. If the person is smoking, we'll go back to it. If the person is depressed, because of that time, that you have left, that vacuum, the person is going to go back to it.
Right.
Again, we also advise that they visit, the premises. Because, in the counseling, in the workplace, some of the workplace, they don't even have any space for you to talk to, the staff. Because, that should also be done in confidentiality. In a very private way. Sometimes, mostly, we advise that they come to the centers where they will have this quiet place and will be able to talk better. So ideally, I would say a quarter or 2 months. It's ideal. Like I'm saying, there are so much problems that when you leave it open for a very long time, you will never have results.
Now we're talking about 27 million people, Ghanaians, our population getting to that level. Taking a casual look at the number of counselors we have, professional counselors, how many do you think we have as a country?
Yeah, that's one question which is actually sad. Looking at all the things I'm saying, it tells you that there are more issues and there are fewer people to handle, those, issues. We don't have too many people, let me say.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's the churches that have taken over counseling. And, they are doing it in a way which is actually, I wouldn't say that it's not good, but it's not going in line with how we should have our counseling.
I'm not quite sure you're right, because if you see pastors committing suicide, they ask yourself, hey, where is it just going to?
Yes.
So continue. I'm just,
yes. So
in line with what you're saying.
Yes. So basically, some of these things are not helping. The question is, when I started, I mentioned that you need to have passion.
Exactly for
for what you do. So it depends. I mean, you can just go to school and then pass out and then, become a counselor. But the question is, do you have the passion? We don't have many in the system. And we don't have many, honestly. We don't have many. But I will plead with people to have the love for counseling because it's going to help us a lot. I mean, we are all complaining the economy is this, the economy is that. People are frustrated. I mean, that's bottom line. They are sad. They are not happy. So the question is, how do we bring these people to understand themselves?
That's right.
But the people are not there. So basically, it's the passion. We don't have the people to do counseling, and the churches have taken over. But we will appeal to people to have the love for, counseling, so that we can attend to many needs. When you go to the mental hospital, it will amaze you. Look at the ratio between doctors, to the, inmates there.
That's right.
These are just few, doctors. Yes. How many can they do?
Yes.
And, they are not even beds for them to sleep. So, medication is not everything. When somebody is going through, these problems, it's not just the medication. We need the counselors. But the question is, where are they?
Now, let me ask you this. Is the profession of a counselor lucrative?
It is not.
It's not. So you rightly put it, it's your passion that you have for that.
Exactly. It is not. If you follow the money and you don't look at the results, what is the point in you having more money when the people are not, their issues are not sorted out? You wouldn't.
Now, are you easily accessible?
Very accessible. Very accessible. Counseling is basically, let me say, 24/7. Because you have people going through suicidal thoughts late in the night.
Yes.
The question is, if you are not accessible, how do they reach you?
Right.
So there are systems put in place for you to have the service of a counselor, even at dawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's strike a scenario before you go. In a workplace setup, everything seems to run for everybody. And as I already said earlier on, you start observing certain, changes. You feel this person, you haven't worked with the person for 10 years. So now you start seeing certain changes. The first step you said was you try and let the HR manager be aware. He or she gets the information. And that's it. There's nothing about it. You, the observer, what else can you do?
Well, if you know a private counselor,
okay,
I think you should take that bold step.
Okay.
And do it on the person's behalf.
Okay.
Like you rightly said, the scenario you created where the man set himself ablaze.
Exactly.
The wife was aware, but
yes,
she didn't take further steps.
That's right.
And that happened. So if you know something and you have an information and you don't act on it, it's definitely going to bring problems. So we appeal to people to basically, seek counselors' help. Trust you me, the things that comes through counseling, you'll be amazed.
Yes.
There are things bothering people, but they are the only ones who have those problems.
So some people talk to friends, and this man, for instance, spoke to the wife, and the wife told him, you take it easy, things will be fine. Otherwise, you look for another job and all that. And for me, for the man to go to the extent of setting himself ablaze, it means that he didn't take any of these. So it means that advice will not work. You necessarily need the help of a counselor.
Yes.
I take it now that the wife didn't know of a counselor. But we started such discussions on GTV. I believe that people are going to know the benefits and uses of a professional counselor. Because not enough to tell somebody what you're going through. So it will be all right. That sort of thing. Everything will be fine. You gradually change jobs and all that. But you don't know the extent to which the fellow is suffering within. Understand? So then, give us your final words before we go, Counselor Efia.
Well, I would say that we want to appeal to people to seek professional help. There's been pastors who have lured people, bring me goats, brafa kwanchre, and so on and so forth. and still it hasn't yielded any result. If you're going through any suicidal thoughts, if you're going through any emotions that you feel you cannot handle alone, please seek counseling, and it will help you resolve yourself.
There's a message here. That's the only message I have now. It says, may I please know the counselor's contacts? Yeah, probably it will help a lot. You want to let your contact out to people, viewers this morning?
Yes, we can be reached on 0244 295048.
Do it in the counseling mode. Slowly. Go again. Your counselor here.
Yes, 0244 295048.
Okay, that's open door counseling.
Yes, opening door counseling services.
That's
yes.
your contact. Okay. So finish for us now before we go. First of all, what the country should do, what employers should do, the employees ourselves should do, and all that to ensure that we have a good workplace environment before we go.
Yes, employers should seek the emotional welfare of their staff. Okay. It's very important.
Okay.
We overlook some of these things, but these are some of the things that goes on, to cost the company a lot in so many diverse ways.
Okay.
The country should embrace counselors, even in parliament. I mean, politicians. Yes. We all talk about politicians not saying the right thing, doing this. They are also human beings just like us. They also go through a lot of things.
That's right.
So when they have the right counseling, I believe we can also appreciate them in a better way.
That's right.
Society should embrace counseling.
Okay.
The churches should work along with trained professional counselors to be able to bring out better people.
Father, how affordable are your services?
Very affordable.
Very, very essential to know, because then
it's very, very affordable. Right. We are not basically, the money side of it.
All right.
Our passion is to help people.
Okay.
When people are referred, it means that they have had good services.
Wonderful.
So everybody should, feel free to come.
All right. All right. Thanks so much, Councillor Ifia of Open Door Counseling Services, for attending this morning. This has been a very insightful topic, and I guess I wish that once a month we bring you again on board and you share some experiences that you've gone through as a professional counsellor, and as we go through the dailies too, we bring up issues for people to know. We discuss them. It will help a lot. All right. Thanks so very much, Councillor Ifia, for attending this morning. Before Ara comes on, let's get it right. We're going to look at the best way to wash and care for your necktie, and this is going to be demonstrated by Emma Ado, image consultant, right after this discussion. And then Harriet will be back. Thanks so much, Councillor Pia, for your time. The show is still on. We'll be right back.
The edition of Get It Right on GTV Breakfast.